Hello and welcome to the Pintcast. I'm joined today by Raj Groves, host of the Chelsea podcast, BLEAV in Chelsea. Welcome to have you on, man. Good to have you on the show.
Hey, appreciate it. Always great to catch up with you. We did a podcast about 10 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think we did. That was it was the Pacquiao Mayweather fight, I believe.
There we go. It was in May.
Yeah, right. Yeah, many moons ago. But
Yes.
still always a pleasure to chat sports with you, whether it be football, whether it be boxing, any of those things.
Yes.
You've been a Chelsea supporter as long as I've known you, that's for sure.
Yes, sir.
From seeing you in the gym with the Chelsea kits on and the Brazil kits, many moons ago.
Yep. Indeed. It's been a roller coaster, let's say the least, over the last 10 years for me as being a Chelsea supporter, as you know.
Yeah, definitely been some ups and downs. It seems at least you guys have gotten out of the woods a little bit. It's not, not quite exactly where you want to be, but you're currently champions of the world, right? Which you'd rather have a Champions League, but it's a lovely distinction to have. You're currently second in the league, which earlier this season you didn't think that necessarily where you would be at this moment, or at least that's me projecting. But But yeah, I mean to be in this position where you're ahead of Man City and ahead of Liverpool, going into this big matchup against Arsenal, you got to feel pretty good about where you're at.
Well, yeah. Obviously, what I will say is that Chelsea are ahead of schedule, if you will. Obviously, it's the youngest team in the Premier League still. And listen, I like playing FIFA career mode, and I take a bad team, and I like to get the young guys with high projections as well. You got the guys with the potential to be superstars. But I thought we kind of overdid it a little bit a couple years ago and just not getting any veterans, and you saw it on the pitch. They lacked leadership, especially with Silva being gone, and they didn't have any veterans who could handle. Let's say if we had a lead late in the game, we surrender the equalizer or even worse.
Right.
And you just saw it, little silly stuff. Now it's still a young team, but you mentioned the champions of the world and the Club World Cup. Now, listen, I went into this thing not caring that much, to be honest with you. Hey, it's a made-up tournament. Say what you will. But the closer we got to it, the more I saw how important it was for the lads on the pitch. And the more just winning something. Let's hold a cup up.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Let's see what happens. And then we were in that bootleg tournament, the Conference League that I'd never heard of before qualifying. But that too, I went in there like, hey, they should win. How important was it? Well, if you were at the pub around a bunch of Chelsea supporters, you saw how important it was just to us alone. But with a young team like that, when you said winning, I don't care the cup, just be able to lift a cup is important.
Yeah, that's huge for the experience of a team. I think even though Arsenal hasn't won much in the past few years, but getting that first FA Cup with Mikel right when he came in, even though the team wasn't that great yet, was still a big accomplishment. You need that young group to do something. And so I do feel kind of like Chelsea is in a similar position to where Arsenal were a couple of years ago when you talk about being ahead of schedule. Yeah. So not 2 years ago where we should have won the title versus City or whatever, but 3 years ago when we all of a sudden we're in the title race and we're right up there, and that team was very much ahead of schedule. Also at that point, they were the youngest squad in the league.
Sure.
And when you're that, this is before we got Declan Rice, before a few other additions, the veteran leadership and the core being all in that 25 to 28 range, where you want them to be instead of being 22 to 25. That team, you guys seem like you're in a similar situation where this team you're ahead of schedule now, next year or the next 3 to 5 years, this team should be contending for the title and up there. And it really seems that you guys have a real jewel. Like I didn't really care about anyone you guys signed until you guys signed Esteval. Oh, what a fucking player that kid is, man. Brazilian, that's
I've been reading about this kid, not just reading about him, but Andre Santos too. Our midfielder, defensive midfielder. I've been excited about both of these guys. Santos is not going to get the headlines like Esteval does. I get it, but in the future, I see him and Caicedo as that double pivot, whatever in the middle. They are both. I was just watching highlights and reading about them, and I know how does that translate to the Premier League. We don't know, but yes, signing Esteval was huge. And when you asked me earlier, did I expect to be here second place? No. Obviously, a lot of this has to do with the struggles of Liverpool and Man City. The reason why we're so high. I wanted to fight for top 4, just like I wanted to fight last year. Didn't happen. So this year, I'm being realistic. Listen, I don't think we were better coming in than Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal for that matter, because we just haven't shown it consistently. So I wanted top 4, surprised, but pleasantly surprised to be in second place right now. And of course, this match coming up against you guys is huge.
Yeah, it's going to be a real test, that's for sure. But we've just, we're recording just after the second day of this Champions League match day, where yesterday your Chelsea went and didn't just beat Barcelona 3-0. You guys spanked them. It could have been
Yes.
5-0. That easily could have, how many offside goals did you guys
Six
have?
could have been six, no joke.
Right.
Because I
Yeah.
mean, and it's a couple were legitimately called. I get it. A couple.
Yeah.
It was really close, but you saw. And this goes to our. I'm going to look at this game, and I know we're talking about the game coming up against Arsenal, but since you're playing us, I got to ask you. Like, I saw what I think is one of the left. I think the left back, the best left back in the league. I'm sorry, Premier League. I know you got your guy Calafiori, and we wanted him too, but Cucurella put Yamal in his pocket the entire match. I mean, you barely noticed his age. There was a couple Barcelona guys at the pub, and they were like, "Listen, man, it's like Yamal isn't even playing." That was key, just to come out and make that statement, so to speak, putting him in, of course, his Spain teammate in his pocket. That changed the entire match. But as you know, they being Barcelona play a high line and they win the midfield, and if they do, you're in trouble. Caicedo, Enzo, and those guys and they put Reece James inverted him, which I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Ganjuska. He started as a midfielder in this game. Enzo playing Cole Palmer's vacated position. So Chelsea controlled the midfield. Therefore, we exploited their high line. So
Yeah,
you guys,
so they were lacking Pedri, right? That was the only guy that they didn't have in the midfield, I believe.
yeah, yeah, correct.
But I mean, yeah, it is. Winning the midfield is everything there.
Well, especially when you're playing a team that's going to pressure and play a high back. So it got exploited, and like you said, it seriously could have been 6-0. And Sanchez, our guy Sanchez, much maligned goaltender. I've actually defended him, other than making a couple of dumbass decisions a game in the past. Like, he's actually a good saver.
He's a good shot stopper. Just I don't know about getting off his line.
He gives me heart palpitations. He played well this game. He came out, got a cross when he was supposed to. Wasn't asked to do much, obviously, because of the way Chelsea controlled the game. But I got to ask you, who do you think is the best left back in the league?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think if any of the other teams have.
Well, your guy's playing great. No, I'm talking about
playing amazingly. And honestly, today.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, well, in today's match, Miles Lewis-Skelly, who's played well there for us in over the past season, and especially last year when the main reason he was playing was because Calafiori wasn't fit. He was having fitness issues. He's only been playing one match a week for us this season, primarily in the Premier League, because he is kind of. I mean, his muscles don't seem like they're good for playing twice a week. All right. But today, so Miles Lewis-Skelly got burnt a couple times on the wing in the beginning of the second half. It's like, yo, he's getting cooked. Like, it's time. We got away with one. The young 17-year-old German kid, I forgot his name, who scored the one goal for Bayern in the first half, completely burned him and got all the way through to 1-on-1 with Raya. And luckily, he just put it right at the goalie. Okay. But Calafiori came on and within 2 minutes assisted the goal to put us ahead 2-1. And it just showed what he did. It was a good 1-2 passing down the side, whipped in the cross for Nani Madueke to score his first goal for Arsenal. It was big time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was.
I haven't heard that name. I know you haven't heard that game much.
He's been out injured for the past month or so, and so getting him back was nice, especially with Trossard went down with a muscular thing around 30-something minutes, so he came out earlier than we thought. I expected he was going to get about 30 minutes today, but ended up playing 60 and did a great job. And it was literally right after we took Saka off. They put Martinelli on the left and switched Nani to his favorite side on the right. And Calafiori came in left, and that immediately paid off in a goal. And then we continued to get another one, and it was, Martinelli had a beautiful goal getting around, and when that happens and all the substitutions you make work, it makes the coach look really good. But to your point, best left back, I agree, Cucurella is a good. Very, very good. It's giving great left back, but he's an absolute cunt. I cannot stand that motherfucker. And I will never give him the distinction of being the best. I don't think he's the best left back in the Premier League. I think he's a.
So who is then? If you say that,
Calafiori is playing better than him.
Okay, you like him. So let me switch to another position.
There's a few other decent fullbacks, but I mean,
no, it's between those two this year. Right now, it's between those two, in my opinion.
This year, those are the two. Those are the two.
That's
that are
fair.
Playing the best.
That's fair.
That's fair because Robertson's kind of fallen off, with time.
But who touches his hair more times a game than Calafiori? This is something I think you would appreciate. Than my guy, Cucurella.
Yeah, I think it was Victor Gyökeres. I remember that when he scored his first goal for us, he was doing a little thing because they were commenting how he touched his hair more than he touched the ball. So, we got a lot
someone
of.
did it. Someone did an unofficial count, and they said Cucurella touched his hair over 100 times in one game.
I mean, if you had that fucking sideshow Bob Mop, you'd
massive.
have to. It's just bouncing
massive.
around everywhere. He just has a headband, right? It's just still flowing.
Yeah,
everywhere.
but it's still massive. Our song mentions this is here. All right. Since you say that you have the better left back, who has the better CDM? Is it my boy Moises Caicedo, or are you going with Rice?
Well, Rice isn't even playing there anymore for us. It's Zubimendi.
I know he's going in. I know, but who do you like? Our best midfielder then?
Oh no, I think Declan Rice is the better spec. Like, you guys paid 110 for Caicedo, we paid 105 for Rice. I mean Rice is giving it. Here's the thing. I mean, Caicedo's chipping in versus good amount of goals for a defensive midfielder, but Rice is getting on the end of more of it. Like Caicedo's doing a great job. Like he underwhelmed the first season and a half, right? I mean, you say this is what his third year with you guys.
Yeah, this is the second full, but he. I would say this. I don't care about his goals. I don't care if he scores another goal ever again. He is like, if you take like the Scooby-Doo mask off, this might be N'Golo Kante under there. He goes back and he just wins the ball back like no one's business. The goals to me are a bonus. And I guess I just like my CDM to do just that. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think the way we moved out. I mean, last season we had Rice playing there a lot. But truly, when everyone was fit, it was Thomas Partey playing that role for us. Now he had a few issues, but he would hold onto the ball too long, and it would kind of slow it down. When we would try to break, when we get it and try to start transition, he kind of slowed us down a bit because he was more of a ball carrier than a guy that moved the ball really quickly. And there were several times you're like, dude, move the fucking ball, and we could do something. And Zubimendi coming in, like people are talking about him potentially keeping Rodri out of the Spain team in the World Cup because of how well he's playing for them for Spain. So I think Caicedo's doing an amazing job. I'd say that there's a good case to say that the three, you could say that Caicedo and Rice are probably you could say the two best midfielders in the league, quite potentially.
I think so. I don't think there's any question.
But I think Zubimendi, I said before the season, is going to be our best signing this year, and he's really completed our midfield, the way he carries the ball, he moves, and he's given us more offense than we expected.
Right.
So he's doing a great job. So I wouldn't trade him for anything. I think the way it works with our system, he turned down the move to Liverpool. He thought we were a better fit for his football. It's all paying off right away. He looks like he's coming in and fitting in seamlessly. So I'm happy with who we got.
All right.
But I think Declan Rice is the best midfielder in England, if not, really one of the ones in the world. I mean, as far as the guys that can do everything, because he's playing box to box. And even today, he had one of those runs starting from our own box and, carrying the ball 60, 70 yards, 80 yards upfield and, galloping all the way to the other box. And then, our friend Alexander Zinchenko, when asked about him, they called him, "Oh, he's our horseman. He's a horse," because all he does is fucking run back and forth. So that was a nickname for him in training.
Yeah.
He sheepishly admitted to. So I mean, Rice, he was the man of the match for us today, and he was everywhere. Big tackle at the when it was only 2-1. The big tackle to slide and stop the counterattack and no foul. And he's geeing up the crowd. He's the everything you wanted. Even though he's not. People have been clamoring for him to be captain. Like last year when Odegaard wasn't playing that well, he's got to be the captain because he is the next captain of England. He's going to be captaining as soon as probably after this World Cup when Harry Kane decides to stop playing, but he's still scoring so many fucking goals, except for today. Actually, I saw the stat and I love this stat. This is the first time Harry Kane had 0 shots on target against Arsenal. Shots or shots on target? I think it was just shots in general.
Wow.
In his career, playing us when he scored a lot of fucking
clamps
goals
on him then. All right, put the clamps.
I love it. But honestly, when you saw Kane today, he was back in the midfield. He wasn't just dropping back. He was dropping back into deep midfield to get the ball. So that just shows that we did something against him. But But you know what? The quality you guys have up and down your team is definitely. I mean, it helps with the unlimited budget to just be able to buy fucking 2 great players each position, and also not really be punished for some of them not working out. You can ship them out, put them on loan, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's finally working.
Sell them to Arsenal.
Sell them to Arsenal. Although, but you know what? I guess if you knew Estevao was coming in, then you didn't fucking need Madueke anymore. Even though I think you said he was probably your guys' best winger last season, right? That's what I heard from most Chelsea fans as far as.
So it's interesting. It's funny you say that because when I'm doing the pod, what I was saying with Estevao coming in and all the research and weekly highlights I'd watch on him, someone's got to go. I was like, we have too many, and Nani has to play. And one thing I do like about Nani, was he our best? I would say he's the best at taking someone on, like when things are breaking down. And this, if Cole Palmer wasn't just cooking, what did we have? We had Nicholas Jackson, who's a mental case, and just if he wasn't getting a red card, he was missing one right in front of the goal. You know what I mean? And he would just pout. Yeah, or he would just straight pout if he went through, like if we won and he missed a goal. So you can't count on him. So at least Nani would take people on. I did not dislike Nani, but I did say if we're getting Esteval, and then we're going after Garnacho, like we're signing other wingers, and like
you got to do the math. You got to balance. You got to balance, and you got to figure out what assets you can get real value for. And so even if maybe you want to get someone else more, but you're going to get 20 million for him, if you're getting 50 for Nani, that's going to help balance the books a lot more with the financial fair play, with all the bullshit they do about having to do, the math behind that shit. And you guys are very good at cooking the books and figuring out how to move.
No, it's not cooking. It's circumventing the system, sir. Let's let me correct you. All right. Nothing illegal. But one thing it has.
You guys already paid for your legal shit, right? I think there was already.
They already did. And they found it pretty much not guilty. He doesn't. Yeah. So.
Pretty much.
Anyway. But what this has done, this roster, and all joking aside, and we have a champagne problem. I don't know if you've ever heard that phrase. It's a great
into the net.
It's a great problem to have.
And
this is something that's big, and this is a matchup. I would love to have Cole Palmer on the team right now. He is the best player on our team, and when he gets going, it's like Azar. When he just finds a way, he just wants to do stuff. Without Cole Palmer, this team has been playing harder, if that makes any sense to you. And it's also made interchangeable players. Enzo has come up and played a 10 because, let's face it, he's not as good as he's done. Declan Rice, basically. He's come up and played a 10. Super involved. Had 2 goals taken away yesterday, by the way. But all over the pitch. I don't like him as a back. I want Santos to take his place, actually, because I just
you don't want him playing 8 anymore?
Not really. I feel he's a liability sometimes defensively. And then Caicedo was running around doing every damn thing on his own back there. He's just not fast enough. But as a 10, he's great. He's creative enough. It's different than, it's like more of a natural role, like he almost plays in Argentina. But without Cole Palmer, there's so many movable spots. You moved Reece James, you started him as a CDM instead of Enzo yesterday. But then in the second half, we took off the right back Frenchman. I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank right now. Moved Reece James back to his natural right, then brought in Santos to take his spot. So Enzo Maresca is such an interchangeable squad right now, moving pieces around. And even when Palmer is there, sometimes they move him to right wing almost, and it's like, you don't have really a dominant. So it's made an interesting squad. And he can play chess a lot of times on the pitch, and it's working for him right now.
Yeah, versatility is something that Mikel Arteta values very, very much. There are a lot of guys that are hybrid position guys. So whether it be, like both of our right backs, right? So when we signed Ben White, he was only seen as a center back. He played center back for Brighton before we got him, and he became our starting right back, right? Jurrien Timber, center back, right back, both for the Dutch national team. He's now been our starting right back. And honestly, the way he's playing, he scored a goal today as well. Again, he seems like the best lockdown defender in the league. He locks down everybody. Like Jurrien is, man, really, really amazing player. But big question I had for you though about what you were talking about as far as your position at the 10. So if Enzo is another 100 million pound midfielder you have, is he a guy that's going to move to the bench when Cole Palmer comes back for your best? Like, do you think? Because you're saying that you like Andre Santos and Reece James both more at the 8 because you have Caicedo at the 6, right? So you have. Even if double pick, you always have one slightly ahead of another. So Caicedo's the deepest, right? Because you guys play the same.
Yes, because he's like the N'Golo Kanté role
formation
almost.
And system as us. So
yeah.
So the furthest back you have Caicedo, and then we're talking the 8, which has normally been Enzo in the past, right? So you're saying with everyone fit, you would rather have Andre Santos or Reece James there as the 8 instead of.
So here's what they do. So in this huge match against Barcelona, Malo Gusto was the right back I was talking about, the Frenchman. They had start on the right. You move Reece James in. No, I'd rather have Reece on the right at his natural position, right back, because he's the danger of him whipping it in. One of the best right-footed ones. But right now, maybe even Lavia I love too. But right now, because Santos is still gaining experience in the Premier League, right now it's Enzo. But what I'm telling you, in my ideal picture in my mind, rather be later in the year, next year, let's say if we went that far, I want Santos. Yes, there as the as the guy alongside Caicedo. And then Enzo is your jack of all trades. You want to come in for Palmer up top, move Palmer to the right if you want, or you want to put him back for for Moises Caicedo or Santos, you go ahead too. But yeah, ideally, I'm sorry. Yeah, I like the guy and I like his passion, but defensively, and this is the difference between our two teams. I know we haven't really talked numbers, but listen, Arsenal and Chelsea scored about the same amount of goals. I think it's 2 goals a game. This is in Premier League.
Right.
The difference is goals given up. You guys have cut it at least in half. I think we've given up 11. You guys maybe given up 6 goals in the Premier League this year.
I think
so
less.
That's the difference in these two squads to me is defensively. So when you ask me about my ideal squad, I think Santos is better defensively, and I'm not just giving my Brazil favoritism. Santos is better defensively than Enzo Fernandez, but I like Fernandez's versatility and I love his passion. It's a liability sometimes defensively. He's just not fast enough.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, when you get to the level where you really want to be, when you're actually a title aspiring squad and all that kind of stuff, you need a guy of that level of quality to be a rotational guy. So you don't lose much quality when you swap them out. Because that's always been the problem. Like for us, if you had to play the other left back, it's like, fuck, we're playing. And recently it was like having put Zinchenko, and Zinchenko was great going forward, but defensively a bit of a liability. He was getting skinned on the left side when he was in. It's like, well, that's shit. Like we're losing that.
Yeah.
You're losing that quality. And same thing with, former old right backs and stuff. But now that we have Ben White as the backup option, you can do that without losing too much. I mean, but yeah, Julian Timber's playing too fucking well right now. Like that's, I feel bad for Ben White because he's a starting caliber player on a top team. But when a guy's playing that well in front of you, there's not much you can fucking do. So yeah, I mean, so we're blessed with a lot of options and a team. We both have teams that have a level of squad depth that most, pretty much any other club in the world is jealous of, as far as having, 2 pretty good fucking quality players at each position. So what do you think? I mean, going ahead into this next weekend, like, do you see the team staying the same as what you guys played during midweek, or do you expect some rotation?
That's a great question. I don't expect Cole Palmer back for one. He's still doubtful and dealing with that. And then, right? Yeah, he had a freak little accident there, so that's still not going to happen. Enzo is really careful with when you have 2 games a week. Like, don't be surprised if Esteval comes off the bench. Like, if he starts someone else at the right back, like he'll do that, but make him come off the bench fresh. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to play that way he just did the whole game. So the front 3 is always interchange. You put João Pedro up front as striker. You got Delap back. You know what I mean? On the left side, Pedro Neto has been freaking great, so consistent for them. So no, I don't expect the same squad. In fact, I could see, you never know where Reece James is going to play. He's played Caicedo at right back at times. Caicedo's played that at Brighton under him, when Enzo Maresca was an assistant there. So no, predicting this squad is not something you can usually do. All I know is Caicedo's going to play where he is, and Cucurella is going to play on the left back, and that is the only guarantees you have on this squad. I'm dead serious. It will change, especially when we have 2 games. Fair. So having said that, like you said, we both have depth, and it just say if we just prognosticate and look at this game, you're at a level where I still wish Chelsea to be and to get to be at. I don't feel we are on that level yet in terms of consistency and especially defense. So that's where I still think you guys have the edge. But being that it's at Stamford, like I'm hoping, I'd like to sneak out a draw. I think our last 10 games, Chelsea's only won 2 against you guys. The last 10 games against Arsenal, excuse me. It's 2 wins, 2 draws, but 6, and it seems like more than 6 victories for you guys. So the trend, you've definitely, haven't owned us, but definitely have our number. And I just don't think we're on that level
It's
yet.
our best run against Chelsea that I can remember since before the money days. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, because as soon as Mourinho came in, we stopped fucking beating you guys. That's for a long time. It'd be like a draw or an occasional win here and there. This is definitely the best period I've seen in the past 20 years of us against Chelsea. I think regardless of rotation, like I said, you guys have so much quality that I expect you to give us some trouble, but as we've seen, we both went out and whipped the shit out of a couple teams. Bayern Munich, like that also could have been 5 goals for us today.
Okay.
If Marino missed 3 header chances while it was 1-1 in the beginning of the second half, and we're just like, fuck, man, we're gonna rue that because you had 3 open headers. One he missed completely, one he hit straight at the keeper, and the other one he missed right at the post. And it was like, you got to bury one of those.
Yeah,
and
you don't get many of those chances.
He's not, he's not an actual striker. But he finds himself. The thing is, the one thing he does do, he finds himself in the right position in the box a lot. So we were worried we were going to pay for that. But thankfully, the team came through and The substitutions worked out. All those guys came in, and we were we saw something great.
I think we are, and this is something when you're asking about this preview, and what I saw, I did see a lot of the highlights with you guys. Declan Rice was on the post game show. The Paramount one, which is obviously a great crew, fun, the CBS crew. We alluded to it earlier, you and I, when we're comparing these two teams. We are a veteran or two away from being at your level. So that's the best answer I can give you. We are still that Arsenal team a couple years ago that might bottle it, down the stretch or whatever you want to call it. We, Chelsea, are not at your level yet because we don't have those veterans like that right now that we can rely on in a huge game like this. Although I'm still pleased with how our youngsters are playing in situations like this.
Well, it leaves a really tasty matchup. Both of us coming off these big wins. You couldn't ask for any more. I mean, honestly, I was really disappointed you guys beat Barcelona. I was like, man, if they could get a bad result here, this would really fuck up their confidence before the weekend. But then it's like, holy shit, 3-0 over Barca, and it could have been 5 or 6. I was like, you can't ask for anything better before a big match at the weekend. Even if you said you could rest instead of it, like, no, I'd rather have my team beat Barcelona 3-0 because the high that's going to give them, we can beat fucking anybody. We can beat Barca.
Right.
But I think we went out and did the exact same thing. We did give up 1 goal on the only fucking big chance they had, but we went and put 3 against Bayern. You know what happened the last time we faced Bayern? Well, what happened, but but it was
tell it for the listeners that might not.
Between the 2 matches over the quarterfinal we played against them, or round of 16, whatever it was, they beat us 10-2. So 2 5-1 defeats fucking really punches you right in the fucking gut. It's a kick in the nuts.
Ooh, wow.
And so that's why people were talking about it, because really, Arsenal, it's more important that they win the Premier League matches, because the Champions League, if they draw, they'll still be tied with the first place. Even if they lose this game, it's less important because they'll still make it straight through the automatic. They'll be in the top seeds. It's like, but everyone knows that Arsenal want revenge. Bayern Munich has put a fucking whipping on us 2 different years in the knockouts. Because we're never in the same group because being high seeds and stuff. But when we face them in the knockouts, they have put a fucking whooping on us, and it's like, we're overdue, getting that. And honestly, to be fair, with their attacking players are really good, but missing Luis Diaz, because he's the guy who scored the goals for him last time around against PSG, and had that bad red card. That they were. It's not that they were toothless. Because they had, when you got guys like Michael Olise was dynamite, and Serge Gnabry, very great assist for the goal. They're blessed with a ton of options as well, but we put up a great performance and really roused the crowd. Everyone was hyped. The atmosphere at the Emirates was great again, and the thing that getting we beat Real Madrid both times last year in the Bernabeu and at home. That what that gives your team in confidence, and now it's like, hey, Bayern Munich are 15-0-1. I think 16 now, right? 16 wins, no losses, and 1 loss now, right? But there were 16 wins, no losses, and a draw this season. But like everyone said, my buddy that was watching with me at the pub, shout out Scott, who's a Bayern fan, is like, yeah, but it's been Bundesliga, and Dortmund, as good as they are not at the level of Dortmund of 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. And and that's that's the difference, that you have a team playing at this level. If your regular test, if you're PSG, and PSG have done a better job of coming out and doing well in the Champions League, but the first 10 years of this project of them having the money, it's really hard from playing fucking Lyon or Lens or whatever. And then coming out and you face Real Madrid, you face Barcelona, you face Arsenal. The jump in caliber that you're facing is so different.
You can't help but get lax when you have that difference in competition like that.
So really, this one should serve as a reality check, because even though at halftime it was anyone's game, it was 1-1 at the half. The second half, the Arsenal came out and put a whipping on them. We dominated them. The pressure that we did during the first half paid off in the second half. It really got to them, so we look good coming in. I think it's both teams are at an ideal situation. Adding the Trossard injury is not good for us because he's been so clutch and scored goals in almost every game he's in.
Sure. But so who are you most fearful for Chelsea then, as we get closer to the end? Who coming in? Who do you think has the best chance of beating your team? Individual of China. 2-part question. One is that what individual?
Individual on Chelsea, the player.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
From what I've seen, Esteban. Neto. I've been a big fan of Neto. I was mad that we didn't sign him, and so I like him a lot. He's one of my favorites. One of the only guys I'd say that I actually like on your team. But Esteban's coming. He's got the magic. I know Neymar fucking anointed, right? He got the co-sign.
He anointed him a year ago.
This is the next guy, right?
A year ago.
Yeah, a year ago he was saying that. So He's got the right endorsements. Like that's the guy that I'm worried about. The way that goal he scored yesterday when he put it top corner, right, the cutback and the top, like that's fantastic fucking finish. Like that's the kind of magic you need to make a difference, especially if a team is similar in level, or if you're playing tight defensively and you're trying to make the most of your chances. He's a danger man for me. With Cole Palmer not there, he's the guy the only guy that really scares me. And Neto, like I'm actually really happy for him that he hopefully has the hamstring injuries behind him, because like I was watching both games live when he got them, and I knew they were bad hamstring tears. Like you could tell. When you got looking like it's shot in the leg when they're running full speed. Like, damn,
this isn't a pull up. There's hamstring injuries when you pull up, and then there's one where you just go down.
Yeah, there's one where you go to the ground like you just got shot, like the sniper hit you. And I've only had one of those hamstring injuries, and I can still feel the scar tissue where that was, and that shit was 20 years ago. So.
Right. Like, and last question for you. I got one more for you. One more for you. What team in the Premier League then are you most concerned about as a challenger to you guys, Ben? Still City to get it together. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's not because the team is that great, but because Erling Haaland's a goal fucking machine. I didn't realize he had over 30 goals for club and country this season already. He has 13 for fucking Norway since August, right?
Yeah.
13 for Norway. 14 in the Premier League and another fucking whatever in the Champions League, like 6 in the Champions League. So he's literally over 30 goals, and it's November. So if you have a goal machine that's going to score, I mean, this is why they lost yesterday. They didn't play. They rested Erling Haaland because they thought they could beat Leverkusen because that team's been dismantled, and they fucking lose 2-0. Like they're very, very dependent on him. If they're one injury away from him from being fucked,
right?
If they lose him for even a month. Even a month, I think they'll drop too many points, and that might be it as long as we keep it up. But if Erling Haaland stays fit the rest of the season, he is full Terminator mode. He is a fucking cyborg. Like that guy is a goal machine, and we should all be terrified of him because this might be like he might score 80 goals this year. Like that's literally like if he because what August, September, October. All right, so we're at 30. So he could realistically hit like the numbers that we've only seen like Ronaldo and Messi hit. Back in 2012 or whatever it was, and when they're in their heyday and they're each scoring 50 something goals in the league and scoring 70 fucking goals overall in the season. That's the level of numbers. He's not going to have the assist numbers that Messi had when he's put up 20 assists, but like the Ronaldo seasons where it was
I compare him to. That's exactly what I was thinking. Minus the
goals
assist,
and 5 assists, right? Like that.
But
like
just
that's
a
more the
beast.
number, like the 10-to-1 goal to assist ratio.
And then when you watch the game, and I know, guys, sorry, but we're going off to Man City love, like just for this guy is so amazing. When you watch his physical stature and the way his attitude too, like I'm a big mother effer in this box, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like that's what scares me the most.
His dad had him chopping wood and carrying it up the fucking in the mountains of Norway this summer, bro. He had this fucking like Rocky training arc, dude. The Ivan Drago shit, bro. He's on that killing machine shit.
That's scary.
You can't.
I agree with you.
It's really Ivan Drago is the fucking comparison, right? This chiseled Adonis, crazy fucking Aryan guy, bro. Like
that's a great comparison.
This Viking that's chopping wood, and like his dad, Alfie has something out for embarrassing the fuck out of Man United, which because of the injury from Roy Keane and all that shit. That shit runs deep, and so him doing that, like he knows what level he's at, and that guy's a fucking boss. So I don't wish anything poor upon him, as far as health wise. I don't wish any injuries on anybody, but he's, that's the one thing that if they were to lose him, they're completely fucked because they don't have, I thought Doku's performance a week or two ago was really, really good. Not the match against Newcastle, but the last match where he had a goal and an assist or whatever. And he was like, if he could play like that more consistently, like the league's in trouble. Cause that's like, it was really top level play. And, and the thing is that you always, when they were off the beginning of the season, it's like, well, it looks like they don't have it figured out yet, but Erling Haaland makes up the difference. You can, a match they would draw, a match they would lose 1-0. All of a sudden it's, 2 moments of brilliance from him, a header that no one else could reach, a fucking overhead kick from something, when you have, like you said, when you have game breakers, right? Any other sport, a guy who can actually do it. Like when it comes down to it, and you have a war of attrition, you're like, who's the guy that's going to step up and do something that's exceptional? And no one better than him really in the world.
Absolutely.
At the moment, so.
I agree.
Well, yeah, man. Well, let's get the last thing out before we head out. We got to get our match prediction. Give me a score and give me the scores.
Ooh. All right. Well, I talked about it earlier. They both, at least in the Premier League, we scored the same amount of goals, pretty much. I think you guys have one more than us. So I don't think you'll get a clean sheet, especially in the Bridge. I do think you guys will score. It's not like we're a defensive juggernaut. But honestly, and I hope none of my Chelsea bros are listening, I don't think we're at your level yet for a couple of the veterans I mentioned. And I honestly see if I had to bet, a 2-1 victory for Arsenal. But I'm hoping for like a 2-2 draw, or hell, if you guys were had an off day, can we get a 2-1 win? You know what I mean? I just don't think either one's going to keep the other out of the net. That's just not going to happen. I don't think.
Yeah. I would not that I agree with someone of the prediction for sure. And what I think is that like, if you were to get a draw, it would be 2-2 because I feel like there's no way we're not going to score 2. I really think with the way we're going, even without a true striker out there, there's the way we've been dominating doing that. I think it's similar. I'm going to go for 3-1 Arsenal just because I think I think it will be 2-1 and it could end that way. But if that's the case with 20 minutes to go and you guys are trying to get it back. Like our team will murder you on the break,
on the counter. Yeah, you're a vicious counter team.
And if we do what we did today again and bring on Martinelli in the second half, you've seen him run the run through all on his own to score a goal against you guys. Like that's like he's the horse at the races. You send him through, if you haven't seen it yet, you got to watch what he did in Neuer.
I saw it where he got the goalie way out there. Whoop, that little touch he did.
That was around, man, and that's just then he's the one guy with the pace. Like, hey, you're not catching him with the ball.
Well, he already had the pace. Yeah. But then he just did an awkward, like, I didn't expect him to touch the ball there.
That was intentional. That's completely intentional. Yeah. You're like, oh, and I was like, no, he meant that like a motherfucker.
Now, if Nicholas Jackson did that ball would have been in the 4th row. That's all I can. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, even if he did it and got it around, it would still go over in the 4th row with the empty fucking net. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, honestly, you got to be happy that you shipped that guy out because it was you were never going to win shit with that guy as your leading man. So
no, I saw enough. I gave him a chance, but I saw enough.
All right, so tell me who's going to score the goals for you. What did you see?
Yeah, I think give me Pedro on one of them. And then, we got 2 Pedros actually. And then I think here's a guy that's been hot and he's been all over the place and he got a couple called back. But I think Enzo's going to get in there. He's going to play in the 10 and he's a scrappy guy. So Enzo and Pedro.
Okay. I'll opt for. I think Saka's due a goal for us. I think that's what's coming. And I'm interested to see whether or not Eze is going to start again. We got Odegaard came back for his first minutes for the last like 10 minutes of the match today. And so, we got an interesting situation. Eze coming off scoring a hat trick in the North London Derby, him finally getting his like statement game. Yeah. He'll probably start again, I think, because, even though Odegaard's the captain, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But if Eze starts, which I think he will, I think he's going to get on the score sheet. So I'll say him and I'll say Saka. And I'm going to go with Declan Rice for the 3.
Okay.
And I'll give the 1 goal for you guys for Esteval to come on in the second half and score it for you guys. So,
all right.
That's my prediction. So we'll see. Let it play out. Will, are you going to be watching at the Street?
Yeah, I'll be in Culver City because now I live in the South Bay, so it's just hard to get to Fox and Hounds.
Yeah, I think since it's Sunday, actually, maybe I'll make my way out there. I haven't been out there. You guys have to coexist out there, the LA Gooners, right? You're out there.
Correct. And we're good. They stay on the right side. We're on the left. We've had some friction before with them, but cooler hits prevail. And to be honest, I hate fighting over a fucking game that you're not getting paid for anyway. I'm always cool with guys, and I like the banter. Now you guys do out sing us a lot, so we try and do better with that. You know what I mean? But I don't mind watching with the Gooners here. So you won't be alone there. And if you were, I would protect you anyway. You know that.
Yeah, no, I know. I got plenty of friends over there. LA Gooners used to be at the Fox, and so we still, a lot of those guys I've known for over for not decades, but almost really nearly. Right. Like I remember watching matches since like 2009, 2010 over there at the Fox. I was there at the Fox for the match today. The fucking atmosphere was amazing. Love it. Whoever, wherever you are, get out there and watch the local chapters. Oh, shout out to the Sin City Gooners. I did just watch the match. I was in Vegas for the F1 this weekend and watched the Sin City Gooners. Good group, good bunch of people. Great seeing the groups everywhere. I just came back from Miami last month and watched with the Miami Gooners. They're doing the right thing. The Columbia Gooners, all these people are doing their thing right, and it's so fun to sharing that camaraderie. The fact that traveling to a city I've never been to, country I've never been to,
and they always welcome you, right?
Immediately welcomed by these groups. And
so I've been with the Las Vegas Blues before. This year I went to Milwaukee Blues. I was in Milwaukee for some unforsaken reason, but I had a great time. But I watched 2 games with those guys. So yeah, that's always get involved. No matter what squad you support, guys, get involved with chapters, not just your own. But if you're going to travel, look them up on Instagram. I guarantee you, there's a supporter group out there if you're like one of the bigger clubs.
Yes, sir. It is out there. All right, you guys can follow Raj at Raj Grobes.
Yep.
You can check out his podcast, BLEAV in Chelsea. Yep. And we'll leave it there. Maybe I'll catch you at the pub for the match.
All right, we're looking forward to it.
May the best team win.
I love it.
All right, thanks.